My name is Timothy.
And I'm Ashley.
This is TA Garage. Today I'm working on a little bit something different. I got a couple lawnmowers over there, and if you look, the gold one, well, that's it. That's all I got of it. The other ones I actually have most of the put back together to make one really good one and a partial one. Well, I picked up these two engines. I got this one running today by using the old Sears as a belt and running off it to get started instead of doing the old hand crank, because I don't have one, and I've heard of bad stories with them, so I don't exactly want to find out where the crank goes flying to that I'd have to spend a little bit to make. But I do know it runs. I'll put a video of it in there well, you see it now. But I picked this up, and I picked that old Wisconsin up. I don't know if it runs. I do know it turns over, but the oil pan has a hole in it. But I'm going to use one of these motors. I may set them both up on that gold one and have a little workhorse. It's got a little 3-point hitch and everything on the back. And this one has this, basically the same 3-point hitch, but it has the mower deck. It needs really bad rebuild. It's a, what do you call it, a smoke machine, mosquito killer. Yeah, it's that bad. It needs a rebuild. So I try not to run it too much, but this is more of a family heirloom type thing. And well, I'd like to have a little workhorse and keep the fenders on this one. So I'm going to rig one of these up. Right now I'm taking it off this base. The guy I got it from said it was a whacker packer, and it's like a, well, this is part of it, and had like a big plate underneath, and it packed the ground down. Oh, I should mention, this is a little diesel engine, and then that's a 2-cylinder old Wisconsin engine. I believe they used them in like the forklifts and stuff like that, the little back or bobcat type things. But I want to try this little diesel out, see how it works. I'm going to rig up a pulley on this flywheel. I know you guys can't see, but there's like 3 bolts, and that's where it would have mounted up to something for the shaker part. But yeah, right now I'm just slowly getting these little 4 bolts off. I got 1 more to go, and we'll try to lift it up and put it up on that lawnmower today and just kind of set it up there for now. And that way I can kind of figure out this is going to work, because I might like to figure out how to put a generator starter or a starter of some kind on it, and a belt pulley off the same, so it's going to be kind of experimental. But yeah, I'm going to finish getting this bolt off and I'll get back with you. Well, we got this thing pushed up here, so oh well. Now you get to see us heave that thing up here. Surprisingly, the one that you guys are sitting on, the Wisconsin, a lot heavier than this one. Huh?
I'm not taking it out.
Well, we also got to spin it. So I guess I can spin it if I can. Actually, I might be able to pick this one myself. This ain't too bad. I might be able to crab walk it. Wasn't too bad. Just awkward. Again. It's doable. Maybe. Let me check that. So these are the 3 bolts I was talking about, so it's going to have a little bit bigger pulley, but the diesel does run slower. But I'm also going to do like a double pulley So it'll be a little interesting on that part. Let me move it back to this ear. Well, that'd be a good thing to do. And somewhere in there, definitely going to have to get a bigger belt. The nice thing is, if that works, I only have to kind of like widen those two holes up and slightly clearance that little spot there. That would work. The front ones I have to completely. No, it's there too. Where's this hole? It's right there. So this would almost work on the regular mounts. Almost. Needs a little massaging. But it may need to come this way more. So these holes are going to have to get re-drilled. But it goes like that. I'm going to strap this part down. Maybe. I think I actually want to go this way. Maybe we can get a bunch of this done before the rain hits us pretty bad. Temporary thing. Basically, it's to go more that way quite a bit. If I take this there, get to the edge of those. Yeah, that comes off. Not supposed to, but it does. Whew. That can almost be good. Is the motor completely one-sided? Yeah, you just can't worry about that. But as far as that goes, not too shabby. These frames are pretty rigid. This one's probably not the strongest, but it's got pretty good reinforcement back there. These old Sears, pretty good. Alright, that's probably about it for today. I may go around and see if I can find some pulleys for that. That would be neat, and put a thread chaser through them. But probably looking about something like this. Have to get her a belt. Probably get the smallest size pulley that I can get to fit there, and then the one on the outside, which would also be, I guess, kind of a guide. But also, I could mount an electric motor up here, run the belt down, and boom, 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 boom. Which it does have a compression relief valve. Oh, this motor is a, I'm probably going to mispronounce it. It's a hatz, H-A-T-Z. And it is a model ES75. I think when I looked them up, the ES75 was more of the generic model. So, I want to say it was around 8-10 horse, which is, these also a whole lot more torque. So it could be pretty well comparable to that engine. I believe that's an 18.5 or something like that. I'm sure it makes quite a bit of horsepower and torque for being, you know, a 2-cylinder. But this one's a diesel, so you're gonna have that low end chug to it. I'll probably end up remaking an air filter or oil bath because it's missing part of it down there. But it looks like an easy little flange thing, and I can reroute and stuff. and the exhaust. Not a big fan of my muffler, so. But it's not in a bad spot. And then the fuel tank's right next to it. So that's another reason why I'd like to get rid of that. Even though it's diesel, so it's probably not as bad of a deal. But I don't know. But get back work to this and back remember. So I think I found me a pulley. I gotta take this little piece off here. Let's see, it's like a bar that goes underneath. I might not have to. Depends if I can get that belt through there. There's a little guard back here that holds the belt on. I need to put a little bit longer belt, just that way I can guide. I found a pulley that was used on one of the John Deeres that I'm using for parts. About the size I think I need, maybe a little bit too big, but it does have the groove I need. And, well, I have it, so. That's another reason. But I think something like that. I get a bigger belt, which I may have one of them too. Maybe. Basically run it like that, and then I can put a bigger pulley if I need to for the start. So that way I can kind of get this belt thing lined up. Yes, this is going to be a lot faster pulley. I'm hoping it's not going to be geared up too high, because this motor does not turn as fast. So hopefully that's the give or take there. Yeah, I'm going to finish getting this guard off down here and see if I can get a belt figured out. This is also supposed to be a pulley here to help bump everything down here so it's not hitting up here. It's gone. I found these that were laying with it. So, I found this it's been like about 7 years ago. I got this out of a junkyard that we had. Basically, it had a different engine on it that wasn't any good. I sold it with another lawnmower that I had that was more closer to it. But I bought it for like $50. So, I mean, can't go wrong there. I seen what it was and I went, hey, I know what that is. So, I still do. It's a Sears SS12. I need to get it fixed up again. It's got all the grill and all that. Somebody put a dash on this one. Yeah. Get this bracket off, put the belt on. That way I can kind of get this figured out and lined up. It'd be nice to still this thing loose. The mounts are close enough, so I wouldn't mind a little putt around here and there. Push it inside, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Well, if you have. Oh, is there not bolts on that? There must be 2 bolts on that. It's raining. Yeah, it really won't be outside anymore. Well, there's not 2 bolts on there, is it? If there is, I'd like to not have to get the other one off. And if it is, where is it? Right there? Right there. Alright, so my plan here is, I got the pulley, got shoved on this radiator hose. That's going to kind of center it up. And that's going to kind of center it up. We got bolts on here. I've already set it up on it, make sure it works. And it seems like my bolts are here, on this, right on this ring. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put me some red grease and slop it on these. And I'll center punch my hose right that way. These are some Chrysler transmission bolts. This is metric thread, so I'm going to see what little bit of VW stuff I got. Maybe they're metric. It'll work for them. This is a German motor, so makes sense why. So once I find my grease gun sitting over here, basically, I'm not as leg off that. Take this. It's pretty well straight enough. And just kind of press it on there. Pull it off. That'd be about close enough. I'm gonna try to get these drilled out, punch, see if I can find some extra bolts too. Maybe you guys can hear me over the guineas. I've done this before on a steering rod, ones that have little ball joints, and they're fixed in this rod. Instead of buying a new rod, I've done this on an older one in high school. You take a washer, you notch it out, you pop these back in the ball if you can. This one's really bad, I'll show you in a minute. But you kind of put the washer, I like to put the notch of the washer just barely enough for that section of the ball so it's tight. You weld the washer about right in there. That way the ball can still move around pretty freely and it locks it in. And you go around and weld it. This side was so bad rotted that the end of it had broke back. So I had to make this one a little bit tighter, but it takes a little bit for them to wear loose again. Still hot, by the way. Loaded the washer up, and then I put a bolt in it to help strengthen that piece of it so it don't break off. Yeah, I'm gonna finish up welding this one and install it. Did get the motor on it, got the pulley kind of on it. I did start it up and back it up. Did make crank. I'll show you guys that tomorrow when I have daylight. And maybe not something constantly screaming at me. So, yeah, I'm gonna finish welding this up. Maybe put it on, depending on my time. And yeah, that's it. Alright, so it's the next day. Went ahead and got the belt put back on. I got the steering all put back together and it works. A little stiff, but it'll take some time. This was all froze up, so it didn't want to turn to begin with. So, we have the starter. This is another thing I had to make yesterday. Yeah. Get greasing so easy. Make sure that kicks out good. So, what about there? This is my throttle. This is the compression release. Go about right there. I don't know if I can pull this up or not yet. Let's get that little bit of lubricant and pop it up with a wrench. Get a little steel. This is like the extra fuel, kind of like the choke in a way. There, it clicked. Alright. So you'll probably start seeing this kind of tick. And once it gets up there, that's when it's going to start compressing. It should kick off pretty good. It's probably going to grind a little bit whenever I try to get it to gear. It's like that right here. belt kind of came off in the wrong way, so the clutch doesn't work at all now. Alright. You still filming? Mm-hmm. Well, here's the fun part about this engine. You gotta restart it. I haven't got a bunch of starter figured out. What I had in mind, the generator, what they use on the other lawnmowers, it ain't got enough oomph to turn it. They turn it over, and as soon as it hits the compression, it just dead stops. So, the reason why this works is you get the momentum going. And then, because this is like reduction. So you turn it, this a little bit, it goes faster on the flywheel, basically. Shouldn't have to give it that time. You do have to do that because you're not going to be able to crank it. Well, that's what happens with the generator. That's going to be a problem. Alright. Once I get that lined out, I may put a little bit more tension on the belt. Once I get that part figured out, it'll be good. Yeah, it's kind of a little side project, so that's probably about the end of this. I'll do a little bit of tanking, fine tuning with the clutch and stuff. Probably go down in the pulley size if I can figure out how. But yeah. Alright, so we're back on the lawnmower. I'm going to do a couple more little things on it real quick. That's also another day. These wheels are a little bit too small, and I kind of want to make this into more of a bigger, more stable tractor. It's got a little bit bigger engine and it's more top heavy, so I want to widen and like to raise it up and get better traction. Now I'm going to use what I got. Now I got a bunch of these dualies that are split rims with good mud grips on them, like really good on these. Matching set, of course. Thankfully, I got another set that's matching. But 8-hole, 5 and 4.5, which is Mopar pattern. So, and forward. I got these little boat rims, old ones. These tires, I got another one here somewhere. I'm gonna put these tires on the front if I can. And I'm gonna put these wheels and tires on the back, using these rims as a spacer and a boat pattern change. Yeah. So we're gonna see how well that goes. I'm gonna get it kind of mocked up to see what it's gonna look like first, because I might need to take the fenders off. Preferably not want to cut them, but I could remove them. I'm hoping I can get it out far enough to where it won't. So yeah, I'm gonna try that and see what it goes. Well, first, I'm going to take these tires off these rims and then take these off. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started on that. Alright, a little bit of change of plans. I was going to use the little rims, but the center hole is not big enough. And then I was going to use some drums and see if they would work. Well, I got a set of these. I actually have a bunch of them, the wider ones. So, it's not a big deal. I have one set that is not really good. This one's been sitting outside for a long time, and it was bad to begin with. I got another one somewhere. It's got a tire on it, but it's got a giant hole in the side of it, and it's hard as a rock. But the rim, I'm sure, is not that good either. But this rim will hug that up pretty good. Now I have to cut a little spot for the valve stem. wider, which is what I wanted to keep this thing more stable. I am going to slow this thing way down too, so tippability is going to shrink after that. I'm trying to get the tippability done. I'm trying to get it wider, or at least the back wider. I'm not too worried about the front. I'm trying to get more of an actual little homemade tractor out of it. This is kind of a parts one. I got good ones. It's not really worth me trying to find all the parts and make this back to the original, so I'm just gonna make it work. I got other ones that are more worth it to do that with. Probably do the same thing over here, but that does kind of help for what I'm wanting to do. I have another blade somewhere that I'm going to use. It's really going to make that thing heavy, me picking up too. So that may be another consideration. May potentially... No, I can't do that. No, I'll rethink. I'm going to put bigger tires on the front, so it's going to bring it up some more anyway, so it's going to kind of level out. But yeah, that's... I think this is where I'm at. So I'm going to clean up the wheel and spot weld it and do the other one the same way if I can find the other tire and do it. So yeah. I'm going to do this for a little bit. Probably won't film this part. Yeah. Alright, so I'm pretty well done for tonight. Put it on this side because I broke a lug nut on this side, so instead of fixing this side now, I'm just going to put the tire on that side. Seems to be good. A little bit of play. I'm sure it's going to be because of the axle. I'm sure this lawnmower has been through quite a bit. I'm going to put these tires on the front whenever I get the back on to help level it back out. But yeah. I think it's gonna work all right. Hopefully. They're removable, so if I don't like them, I can always swap it back out. Not a big deal. Another thing I can do is those drums that I took off of these. Well, I can put those drums that are no good because they're heavy, bolt them in here, and give it more weight if I wanted to as wheel weights. Just trying to do stuff on the cheap. I'm sure this is a whole lot harder on the axle. I'm aware. This is just going to be basically what I can do with it for now. Just keep oil in it. And it'll be alright. Definitely going to have to gear this thing down. So, I'll have to figure out how in the world to do that. Continue on this whenever I get ready to get back on it. Okay, it's next day. I kind of already did some work on non-videoing. I got the other wheel done. It's on. Got the stud out. Went ahead and put a bigger bolt in it, drilled it, tapped it. Hopefully the transmission can handle this and the hubs, because they found out that, or I found out that it was aluminum. So it's a little softer than what I thought. Thought they were cast iron, but they were not on these, apparently. At least the newer ones. Haven't changed the front wheels over yet. I just want to see how this thing goes. Got the pulley smaller. Just took some bolts, threaded it to, I think those were metric, but now it's standard. Basically just welded the gap up for the pulley to hold the pulley, and then I got a center bolt to hold it centered. And the old belt does fit. I figure the speed will be back down to about where it was. Pretty sure that pulley is a little bit smaller than what it would have had on it, but the bigger tires should make up for that. So yeah, I'm gonna go try it out. I'm gonna take that gear.